Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays with Tom. My name's Tom Holcomb, and this is September 9th, 2015. What is Wisdom Wednesdays? It's a 9-week podcast series that goes in and helps you discover and navigate self-growth, personal development, goal setting, time management. So we're going to give you some personalized strategies to use in your everyday life to be successful, not only in college, but to be successful in life. So today's week 1 session is self-growth. So what equals self-growth? I have this wonderful handout that you can look up and utilize. It talks about self-growth. So utilize this handout. It's really effective. So one of the first things we have to do when you're talking about self-growth is we have to give ourselves a realistic look, self-appraisal about where our goals are or where we want to be. I always tell students that you can look at the past, but you can't live there. You want to live in the present, and you want to plan for the future. So we want to look in the spectrum, the realm of our academic, our personal, our emotional, our spiritual, our physical, and mental states of being to see where we want to start. Remember, one of the greatest success coaches in life, Stephen Covey, said it takes 21 days to establish a habit or corrective behavior. So the first part is really to acknowledge that there is a desire to change or the desire to improve oneself. Alright, so there's helpful questions that I want to pose to you about the inner dialogue grouping about how we should progress. So first of all, what is one thing that you desire most? Talking about desires. Well, I always tell students it's okay to be thinking about money, but remember, at the end of the day, you want to do something that you are happy and that you enjoy. Satisfaction does not always equate money. So there are certain factors that are driving factors for everybody. Some it's money, some it's materialistic good. Others, it's personal reward by seeing improvements in others. And then some might be personal praise and appreciation. So figure out what your intrinsic and extrinsic motivating factors are and improve on those. Next, we got to figure out where we want to start, a starting point, have you. So look at your state of being, your mental, your emotional, your academic, your personal, your physical and mental state and spiritual, and figure out where you want to start. And that's going to be the part that we will start off with looking at and working on. Okay. And then remember, having that positive regard for self, that mistakes equal growth. You know, sometimes it's going to happen, and sometimes students get really upset. I'm like, you know what? You actually have growth here, because you're not always going to get it right, and that's okay, because mistakes equal growth. Now, Success Consciousness website have these wonderful traits about tips for personal self-growth and discovery. I'm going to share a few of these with you today in our podcast series. They actually list 9 actions or tips for improving self-growth. Number 1. Watch how people interact and talk with others. So taking an appraisal of what they do each and every day. Number 2, watch how people talk, how they interact, and how they treat others. Once again, that whole emotional intelligence piece, watching how people interact with one another, directly impacts your success and impacts how you can actually relate to your self-growth. Number 3, pay attention to the way people use their voice. So diction, are they putting special emphasis on certain words and enunciation? So see how they actually do something. Number 4, if you don't like what you see, change it. Once again, there is a starting point. You have to start somewhere. Number 5, when you discover that you possess a certain quality or trait that you don't like, you don't have to live with it. You can change. You can say, this behavior I don't like, this trait I don't like, but I want to improve. Number 6, play in your mind the mental scene over and over again, how you would like the day to go, how you would like the opportunity or event to play out. Some of the greatest minds in history, never got on the first try. Abraham Lincoln ran for 101 different offices. He didn't get it until the 100th one, where he became president of the United States. Henry Ford, who was trying to improve and develop the 6-cylinder engine, his engineers told him time and time again, Henry, this is not possible. You can't develop a 6-cylinder engine. But Henry said, you know what? I have a vision. I have a goal, and we will accomplish this, and eventually was able to have his engineers and schematic team create the first 6-cylinder engine. just some examples about what you can do. Me personally, to get my job as the director of the Roar Scholars Program, I went through 2 years of searching for jobs, 87 job applications, 5 states, 3 interviews, which consisted of 2 parts, a phone interview and then an on-campus interview in person to find a job that I love to do and I enjoy doing. So, never settle for less of what you can do and what you can do. You can achieve great things, but remember, self-growth is about visualizing where you want to be, that target point, and moving forward. Is it always going to be easy? No. You're going to come into some roadblocks sometimes, stumbling blocks as they have you. But remember, dust yourself off and pick yourself up and move forward. Remember, affirm yourself that you can do this. Yes, I will do this. And when you do it, you will achieve great things. Thank you for joining me for Wisdom Wednesdays. This is Tom Holcomb, and we'll see you soon.